Invisible Man, Chapter 17, English Notes. Dr. Kemp's Visitor. Dr. Kemp was writing in his study until the shots aroused him. He was surprised at the use of revolvers in Burdock. He looked at the crowd down the hill, and after a while he returned to his desk. About an hour later, the front door bell rang. He heard the servant answer the door, but there was no one. He came downstairs to know who was it. At 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, when he was done with his work, he noticed that there was a color of drying blood on the canvas at the foot of stairs. On the landing, the door handle of his bedroom was blood-stained. He looked at his own hands, which were clean. He entered the room and noticed blood on the cover of bedsheet, and sheet was torn. He heard a low voice of saying his name, although he didn't believe in superstitious things. But still, all men, however highly educated, retain some superstitions. Suddenly he perceived a coiled and blood-stained bandage hanging in mid-air. Invisible Man started talking to him. He was nerved. Invisible Man tried to keep Kemp calm and listen to him. Kemp recoiled the story in the newspaper. He thought it was a lie. Invisible Man made efforts to make Kemp listen. Then he scolded him that he would smash his face if he didn't listen to him. He tried to make Kemp recall about Griffin, a younger student than him at University College who won medal for chemistry. He was a 6 feet high man with a pink and white face and red eyes. He told him that he himself is Griffin. Kemp was not able to believe it. Griffin asked for food and drink. Kemp saw a tumbler of whiskey tilted itself. Griffin asked for a dressing gown, socks, and slippers. Kemp said that it was the most nonsense thing he witnessed in his life. After he had food, he told him that he changed a living tissue inside him that made him invisible. Kemp was astonished to think how that happened. A ray of candlelight penetrated a torn patch in the right shoulder, made a triangle of light under the left ribs. So Kemp asked him about the shots. Griffin explained that there was a fool man whom he worked with tried to steal his money, and some fool he never met fired at random. Griffin asked to smoke, and while he was smoking, Kemp could notice his mouth and throat. Griffin told Kemp that he hasn't changed much. Kemp wanted to know the story, but Invisible Man was growing painful, feverish, and exhausted. He spoke something in fragments that he should have killed him. Griffin wanted to sleep, and Kemp offered his room, but Invisible Man wondered if he should sleep or try to catch Marvel. When Kemp asked him for the reason, he replied that he objected of being caught by his fellow men. And for this, Griffin called himself a fool to put this idea into Kemp's head. So, at this point of time, when you reach at this point of the story, then you realize that it's all about the physics that you have learned. So this is really interesting at this point of time when he would experiment and he would explain things on the basis of the physics that we study, and that's one of the reasons why it is one of the stories for you. so that you can understand these things better and relate it. And that's all for this chapter.